Welcome back to our live show. Right now, it's definitely a seller's market. There's a record low inventory and median home prices are 13% up from last April. In this segment, our own Evanne Armour talks with a real estate expert, and here's what he had to share.
It is a competitive housing market for buyers here in Richmond and across the country. And if you're having some trouble getting your offer to stand out, our next guest is here to help. We welcome Andrew Ragusa of Realty Success Coaching to Virginia this morning. Good morning, Andrew.
Hey, good morning, Evan. Thanks for having me here. I'm excited to be here.
Thanks for being with us. This is a very timely topic, as we said, across the country, but also right here in Richmond. Why is this something that we should be focused on? If we're thinking about going out and buying a house, how much research do we need to put into our offer process?
Sure. Well, let me ask you something. If the first time you drove a car, did you just get behind the wheel and figure it out as you go?
No.
Okay, so the same kind of concept here, right? Like, it's dangerous, right? You're going to make the biggest financial decision of your life. And if you don't take a few minutes to kind of learn about what's going to happen before you get out there and do it, you're not setting yourself up for success. So I think that's the best reason I can give you to take the time ahead of time and make sure this works out.
And you have a great list for us. You have 4 ways that we can try to get our offer to stand out. And I want to start with the first one, which is agree to take the house as is. Tell us more about this one.
Yeah, sure. So especially in a competitive market, sellers are usually presented with multiple offers, and they usually look for the path of least resistance. Sometimes a seller might get an offer where, let's say, it's 10,000 higher than all the other offers that came in, but it comes with all these extra contingencies and projects that need to be completed. And now the seller is going to have to either live through construction, make work happen, fix things. And at the same time, they might not fix it the way you want it done. And then you have to deal with that whole discrepancy at the closing table. Well, I didn't picture it being like this. I didn't picture it being like that. So it's just best to take the house as is, because it's very incentivizing to the seller when they get an offer in, even if it's not the highest offer, but it's an offer that says there's the least amount of work associated with taking this one.
Absolutely. And I feel like this is maybe a way that not every single person is going to want to go. But again, we're talking about ways to make your offer stand out. Nobody knows this better than you. So our next one is going to be agree to pay above the appraisal value. I think a lot of people hear that and they go, oh, I don't want to do that. Do I have to do that? But why is that one that's important? Right.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole point of the bidding war, right? Is that you're in a situation where people they're paying a lot more than the asking as is. So what's really trending right now, especially in New Jersey specifically, which I've learned from doing business there as well, is there is a buyer trend happening where people are saying, I'm going to take this house and guarantee you X amount of dollars above the appraisal value. So in a bidding war situation, a seller might get 5, 6 offers, 10 offers, 20 offers, who knows? And when they go really high over asking, they run the risk of a bank appraiser coming in and saying, sorry, we're only going to approve a loan for this amount, which really brings down the excitement. Obviously, they thought they were getting so much more money. So to counter that, a lot of buyers are specifically saying, hey, no matter what the appraiser says, I'm guaranteeing you this much, and I'll guarantee X amount of dollars out of pocket. So I'll just give you a quick example of numbers. Let's say the offer is $500,000. The appraiser comes back and says, sorry, the house is only worth $480,000. So then the buyer says, hey, I'm going to guarantee you that $10,000 above the appraised value. So then they'll make an agreement at $490,000, and the seller knows they got $10,000 more than what was appraised for.
It'll definitely make you stand out when they have a stack of offers coming in. You need something that's going to make you kind of go to the top of the pile. Exactly. So our third one is focus on your monthly payment. Why is this something that we need to be focused on as we're focusing on a bunch of other things as we're house searching?
So the monthly payment is what's really going to have the biggest effect on your life. A lot of people don't know this, but if you have an interest rate of around, let's say 2.75% or even 3%, somewhere in that ballpark, the monthly payment for every $10,000 that your offer is raised, it equates to around $27 to $31 a month. So you might find yourself in a situation where you have to pay $20,000 more than you wanted to. But when you look at the monthly payment, if you take the number that you wanted to offer and then take a look at the monthly payment for the number that you have to offer, there's usually a $30 to $60 difference. And in those circumstances, my advice to you would be get the house that you love and not worry about the small incremental increase. Obviously, if you have to go over by a large number, yes, it would add up. But if you're only moving up by 10, 20, $15,000, the monthly payment changes very little. And that's why my best advice to people is focus on the monthly payment. If you can afford that monthly payment, you can afford the house.
Yeah, don't be so stuck on maybe one number. Think bigger picture and think how it's really going to impact you month to month. That's a great one.
Exactly.
So this last one here, I love this one because you hear this so much from people who are, thinking about buying a house is don't wait for a market crash. Let's elaborate on that one a little bit.
So, there's always somebody running around saying, we're in a bubble. Something's going to crash. Something's going to crash. And they'll take, 2-3 years of running around saying we're in a bubble and it's going to crash. And then when it crashes, they're like, I told you so. And you have all this time that went by. So what ends up happening in those circumstances, like if you take a look, first of all, every real estate crash that we've ever had, we've surpassed every time. We have 100 years of data showing that property values have done nothing but increase, even after crashes. But second of all, let's say you were able to save, 30, 40,000 off of the house because, it crashed and there's not a lot of offers coming in. The reality is that you saved roughly, $120 a month. And in the time it took you to get to that crash, property kept appreciating. And it's not necessarily going to appreciate at the rate at which inflation is moving. So with that being said, waiting for a crash while property values keep increasing and the monthly payment difference is so small, it's almost like shooting yourself in the foot. You're better off just jumping in the water, getting the property, and ride the wave upward as the property value keeps rising.
Andrew, that is some great advice. So many things to be thinking about. So many great tips for those of us who are going through this right now. We appreciate this information. We're going to post some more information about these tips, some more information about Andrew and Realty Success Coaching on our website by early this afternoon. Thank you for being here.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me. Good luck out there.